Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Books, Girls, and Purrs. My name's Leslie, and um, Ginger has decided to grace us with her presence. I don't know for how long. As soon as I started talking, that's when she's looking. All right, so Margaret Pinard tagged me in the Wildest Dream book tag. So I thought, you know what, that seems lovely. It seems fun. Something kind of quick and easy we could do. um, Considering that I have to deal with Ginger right now. Let's see how this goes. All right, so let's get started. The first question for this tag is your fantasy time and place to read a book. All right, I know I should make this like some big fantastical answer, but I'm going to give a more practical one. One out of your reading. There's a library. It's in Pasadena, and I just miss it. That's the fantasy place I would like to be. And I'll go ahead and just look it up and share a photo. Hopefully you can see this okay. I love it. It's Pasadena Public Library. I should probably have looked up the history of this before showing you, but it just looks like it used to be some huge private mansion or something. In my younger years, I used to frequent this library, and as soon as you walk in, there's these wooden floors. The books have that old book smell, um, and there's like these windy stairs. And in the basement is where the archives are. So they have the microfilm down there. There's a whole section for copy machines. There's a children's section, and actually in the middle of this, I can't really, it's like right when you go through these um three open door, I can't think of the word right now, but there's just like a little, I guess, courtyard, if you could say that. And there's like a little coffee cart. It's nothing to write home about, the coffee cart, not just a coffee cart, but it's just really nice. It's really beautiful, and I love it. So that really is a spot for me. That feels like a wild dream because I don't live near there anymore and I miss it. And I'm going to go ahead and share with you some photos. It's just from Google. But it's beautiful. Oh, I wish I could make this bigger. Oh, someone's private thing, so I don't really want to go into it, but I love it. I love it. I'm gonna put this if you want to see this library, I'll go ahead and put it in the description, but it really is my favorite. All right, so moving on to the second prompt, which is your fantasy personal library. Um, I'd have to say, oh gosh, my fantasy personal. If I could just have one room, I love that this is my fantasy, but I'm thinking about all these like practical answers. I would love if it was just like an additional room, but to get to that room, I'd have to put not a door. I want it to be like a secret door. I would like a bookshelf, and that I would have to magically, pull a lever or something to get to that personal library, because that library would be my ultimate sanctuary. Sorry, cats. I'm not going to let my cats in. I love them, but sometimes you just got to keep the fantasy without cats, although I love them. So that's definitely something that I'm interested in. Moving on. All right, so the third prompt is imagine you have decided to build a bookshop. What would you call it? Would it sell new or secondhand books? Would it sell anything else? What features would you want in that shop? All right, this is where I'm going to get grand and fantastical and create something that I could probably couldn't like manage myself. But we're talking fantasy here, so I got to bring that element there. There's an author, Dave Edgers, that founded this tutoring literacy program that's also kind of like a bookstore. I really like the idea. There are several different branches. I believe it originated in New York. There's also a couple of branches here in Los Angeles County. And I even have one of the cups. It's 826 National. And I also think that I have some thing to share with you on this one. Here we go. I'm going to hide this number 3 for a second. It says 826 National Youth the Writing. And I like some of the elements of this. I'm pretty sure my daughter has attended something like this, like also on a field trip, I believe. And so in terms of having a bookstore, I don't want it to just be a bookstore. I want it to be like a community center. And so I think that although it's a bookstore, I'm not sure, like maybe I'll have debuts, like new books debuts, but it has to do with social injustices. Only that. Then all my other books would be secondhand. Something else that would be new in terms of a new publishing would be works by the youth, but I don't want it to just be youth that we're helping with literacy. So it would be like a bookstore, but then we'd have other rooms. So if I could do something, I don't know if as grand as a Pasadena Center Library, that seems kind of, it's like really big. But if I could just have like a center where it's like the front is a bookstore, but then there'll be maybe different age groups, different centers, different rooms within that that have to do with literacy. And so it's not just for youth, it's also for adults that have maybe that are illiterate or struggle with the reading, but that there would be this progression of not just teaching someone how to read, but how to write and how to be creative within the writing sphere. So then that would require like volunteers that were willing to do that, to put their time in. It would be cool to have authors come in and talk about that, but not necessarily just to the public, but maybe just have like certain authors come in and talk to maybe the adults for that that are learning to be literate, and also for the youth, like just like something specific to each faction of the bookstore. I thought that would be really cool. And there's something else that I wanted to mention, but I don't think I'm ready. And Tariel's starting to meow at me, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I want something that's more of a community feel. And on top of that, come on, sweetie, come on. I knew this was gonna happen. It's almost time. They're gonna get annoyed if I don't give them attention. What was I saying? I also would like an area that like sells food. So I like the idea of a courtyard. I don't want anything too fancy schmancy. I just want there to be a courtyard because oh, what was it again? Oh my god, I totally forgot. Okay, so for the adults and youth and all these different centers that I have, I want to put a book by maybe quarterly or maybe by the end of the year, and those works would be published and be part of the new debuts. And I believe that's something that 826 National does for the youth program. But again, I want it to be like for all ages. So I think that'd be really great. And that would also help create funding for the program. And also back to the food thing. I would love to have all that, but then if in each center, I just also want to provide separate free food or whatnot snacks and stuff like that while people are learning. So I just want it to be a place of learning, but a place of fun. And like food is such a bonding experience. So that would be cool. But that would be specifically for people attending or maybe enrolling somehow. I do like an enrollment thing. Um, and then for the public in the courtyard, they would be paying for food and stuff like that. Anyways, that's a very long-winded segment. I don't know what it would be called. I have no clue. It would have to reflect the community. I don't know. Maybe I would call it connections. Literary connections. I don't know. I haven't figured it out. But by the time I post this, if I think of a grand name, I'll put it in here or details or other comments. I'll figure out something. But that's kind of what I have. That's kind of like, I don't know, all over the place. But it's definitely something that I'm interested in. All right. So number 4 is one person. Oh my God, that's Tariel. Come on. All right, everyone. Let's see how this goes. All right. One person, not a booktuber, with whom you can have a good conversation about books. If you don't know a person like this, who do you know that you wish would have those that I wish I would have those conversations with? Sorry, I cut that question a little short. It was a little bit longer, but I basically saying if I can't think of anyone that reads, who would I want what I want to read to do that with. Um, there's a lovely person, buddy of mine named Vanessa. She had a coffee shop in my community nearby called LA Grind, and sadly it closed. Just wasn't enough support and enough customers coming in. But I really would have liked to do like a book club with her or something. um, I usually would stop by her coffee shop when I needed to run errands, or sometimes when I'm just losing my mind because I work from home. So I'd stop by just to have conversations with her, and we always had the best conversations. And it wasn't just like surface level stuff. We could talk about anything. And she's just a really lovely person. And so that was kind of like one of my ideas for her coffee shop was, well, maybe we could drum up business by um, getting people to join in. But sadly, her place closed. So that's someone that I would like to maybe buddy read sometime. She's pretty busy these days, but you know what? Maybe one day you'll see her on my channel because at the end of this month, I'm having my buddy read with her of a romance book, and the person that I'm doing the buddy reading with does not have a YouTube channel. They're just my friend, and I'm dragging them on. And so I would also like to do that with Vanessa. She's just an absolute gem of a person. So yeah, that would be my fantasy pick. All right, so, so for number 5, I'm sorry, it's getting chaotic. I have some very needy cats. If you won $1 million and you could only spend it on books or book-related items, how would you spend it? All right, so something that I really love that I've seen is Sista Sci-Fi is a bookstore, a virtual bookstore that I follow through Instagram. But I love the idea that they have and that they did. Um, I I would love to do what they do. They have a vending machine with books at different locations. So one is actually in Washington State and a couple of other places. And there is somebody else, I can't think of who, but I did also see someone recently also do the same thing with vending machines. I love that idea. And the third example I could think of that I'm going to share on screen is that on Instagram, there is this book club that popped up in my feed. Indian Girls Book Club posted about this. And it says Native News Online, a pink semi truck called Resmobile is trekking across Navajo Nation with a mission to deliver 10,000 books in just 5 days. And if you're interested, I think there's a link below to donate, but if you can't, that's cool. I just thought it was like I just thought that was so cool. So I think that goes back to the vending machine idea is that there's Tariel. Come on. All right. Sorry. Okay, so where was I? This is utter chaos. Um, but getting back to the vending machines, I guess my idea is that I would put them in places where there are book deserts. Just like there is a such thing as food deserts, I would also like to have vending machines uh, in places where bookstores or libraries are not accessible. And so it's all about accessibility. I would love to do that. That would be the coolest thing. Um, so yeah, that's like another big fantastical idea I was thinking about. But that's it. That's it for the tag. That was only 5 questions. I could barely get through them because of my crazy cats. Thank you for joining me. Let me go ahead and put that away. um, let me see. I'll tag a couple of people in case they're interested in doing this book tag. Thank you, Margaret, for tagging me. I just felt like this is such a great, quick 5 question uh, segment that's putting out a lot of positivity. And also, the original person that created this tag is Heather Reeds. I'll make sure that her information is below as well. And go ahead, like, subscribe, comment below. I'd love to hear what you would do with either a personal library, um, fantastical ideas of library, bookstore, and what you could do with that. So thank you for watching this chaotic segment. Shop locally, and I'll talk to you later.